Sweetie, take a seat. I've been watching you lately, and we really need to talk about this. You know, I saw you the other day, checking your reflection in a shop window and adjusting your collar 5 times before walking into a room, looking like you were about to face a firing squad. It's exhausting, isn't it? I spent 30 years of my life acting as if I was being filmed for a documentary that nobody was ever going to watch. I'm 51 now, and honey, I've finally realized that the audience I was so afraid of was just a ghost of my own making. Today, this one conversation is going to pull the roots of that anxiety right out of your heart. Listen, honey, that's not how the world works. We walk around thinking there's this giant spotlight following us, highlighting every flaw, every awkward word, and every bad hair day. I remember a freezing November night in New York. I was heading to a very important gallery opening, wearing what I thought was the perfect outfit. As I stepped out of the taxi, my heel caught in a grate and snapped. I had to limp into that high-end room with one shoe, feeling like the whole world was laughing at my clumsiness. I spent 2 hours hiding in a corner, sweating, thinking everyone was whispering about the lady with the broken shoe. But do you know what happened when I finally spoke to the host? She looked at me and said, "Oh, Auntie, I didn't even notice. I've been so worried that my own earrings are too tacky for this crowd." Yeah, that was the moment I realized we are all just protagonists in our own movies, and we don't even have a supporting role in anyone else's. Stop being your own harshest critic for a crowd that isn't even paying attention. Trust me, once you stop caring about that invisible audience, you finally start living for yourself. But darling, the weight of other people's opinions is only the first thing I threw in the trash. There's something much more intimate that I had to let go of, and it's something you're probably looking at in the mirror every single morning. Look at me, sweetie. How many hours have you spent pinching the skin on your waist or staring at that tiny wrinkle near your eye like it's a national tragedy? Listen, honey, that's not how it works. And for years, I chased the ghost of a perfect body that only exists in magazines and filtered screens. I remember being 30 and refusing to go to the beach with my friends because I thought my thighs weren't ready. I stayed home in a dark room, miserable, while they were out there making memories and laughing under the sun. What a waste of a beautiful life. And when I turned 40, I looked at a photo of myself from that time and realized I looked radiant. I just couldn't see it because I was too busy looking for flaws. That was the day I decided to stop treating my body like a project to be fixed and started treating it like a home to be lived in. Your body is the vessel that carries you through this world. It's not a decoration for others to admire. I stopped caring about the size on the label and started caring about how much energy I had to dance or how strong my legs felt during a morning walk. Those silver strands in my hair, those are just the highlights of a life well lived, honey. Stop fighting a war against your own skin. It's a battle you'll never win, and the prize isn't even worth it. But once you stop warring with your reflection, you'll realize there's another battle you've been losing, one that involves the people you let into your inner circle. Next, I need to tell you why being nice was almost the death of me. Honey, let's get real for a second. And get your act together because we need to talk about that good girl mask you're wearing. I used to be the woman who said yes to every favor, every late night work call, and every soul-sucking social event just because I didn't want anyone to be upset with me. I thought being nice was a virtue, but look at me. It was actually just a lack of boundaries. I remember a friend, let's call her Sarah, who would call me at 2 a.m. every time she had a minor drama with her boyfriend. I would sit up, lose sleep, and give her my best advice, only for her to ignore it and do the same thing the next week. I was exhausted, resentful, and losing myself. One day, after a particularly draining call, I realized that by saying yes to everyone else, I was saying no to my own peace of mind. So I started using a magic word. And do you know what it is? It's no, just no. No explanation, no apology, no long-winded excuse. I can't do that, honey. It felt like a cold shower at first, terrifying but incredibly waking. As some people walked away because they only liked the version of me they could use. And you know what? Let them walk. The people who truly love you will respect your no. Stop trying to please everyone. You aren't a jar of Nutella. And this shift in my relationships changed everything. But it also made me realize how much time I was wasting comparing my life to the highlight reels of people I didn't even like. Let's talk about the trap that's sitting right in the palm of your hand. Sweetie, put your phone down for a moment and listen to me carefully. We are living in an age where we compare our behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's highlight reel, and it's making us miserable. I've watched so many brilliant women lose their spark because they saw a former classmate posting about their new mansion or their perfect vacation in Tuscany. Listen, honey, that's not the whole story. I remember sitting in a beautiful cafe in Paris a few years ago. At the table next to me was a young couple. Yet they spent 30 minutes taking the perfect photo of their brunch, adjusting the lighting, the plates, their smiles, and the second the photo was taken, they went back to staring at their phones in total, icy silence. They didn't even taste the croissants while they were warm. That photo probably looked like couple goals to someone scrolling in their bedroom, but the reality was hollow. When I hit 40, I stopped caring about the prestige of my life on paper. I stopped checking who was doing better than me because I realized we aren't even running the same race. Your journey is unique, and comparing it to someone else's filtered reality is like trying to measure your worth with a broken ruler. Focus on the flavor of your own life, not the picture of someone else's. Trust me, the moment you stop looking sideways is the moment you start moving forward. But there's one more thing that used to hold me back. The paralyzing fear that it was too late to try something new and fail. You think you're too old? Wake up, honey. Honey, do you know what the biggest thief of joy is? It's the fear of looking like a fool. Well, in my 20s and 30s, I was terrified of starting anything new because I didn't want to be a beginner at my age. I thought if I wasn't an expert immediately, I shouldn't even try. But listen, that's a trap. I remember when I decided to take up oil painting at 45. I walked into that class with my brand new brushes, and I was terrible. My trees looked like green blobs, and my sky looked like a muddy mess. A younger woman in the class whispered something to her friend, and for a second, I felt that old sting of embarrassment. I wanted to pack up my bags and run. But then I looked at the canvas and realized, who cares? I wasn't there to be Da Vinci. I was there to feel the texture of the paint and the joy of creating something from nothing. I stopped caring about failing publicly. I gave myself the right to be bad. And you know what? Once the pressure to be perfect was gone, I actually started getting good. Failure isn't the opposite of success, sweetie. It's a part of it. Don't let the fear of a few whispers stop you from chasing a dream. If you want to start a business, learn a language, or wear a neon pink suit at 50, just do it. And the only real failure is standing still because you're worried about what the neighbors think. We've covered a lot today, but I want to leave you with the most important lesson of all, the one that ties all of this together. And sweetie, we've talked about the audience, the mirror, the yes trap, the screens, and the fear of failing. But if you forget everything else I said, remember this. Stop waiting for someday to be happy. We spend so much of our lives waiting for the perfect weight, the perfect partner, or the perfect bank account before we allow ourselves to truly live. Listen, honey, that someday is a mirage. I used to have a beautiful silk dress hidden in the back of my closet, waiting for a special occasion. I waited for years, and do you know what happened? The moths got to it before I ever did. That was a wake-up call for me. Now I wear the silk dress on a random Tuesday just to go buy groceries. I use the good china for my morning toast. I don't wait for a celebration. I make the day the celebration. Your life is happening right now, in the messy, imperfect middle of it all. So here is your homework from your auntie. I want you to go into your closet or your cupboard today and find one thing you've been saving for a special day. Use it. Wear it. Enjoy it. Stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, honey. Throw that trash away and breathe. You're doing better than you think. Your auntie loves you. See you next time, honey.